Today's podcast is brought to you by Inverted Gear. For all your jiu-jitsu needs, go to invertedgear.com. Save 15% off if you type in the coupon code ShowTheArt15 with no spaces. Our next sponsor is Chimera Coffee. That's Chimera Coffee with a K. They are a coffee brand that infused their coffee with nootropics. If you don't know what nootropics are, Google it. They can do a much better job at explaining it than I can. Go to chimeracoffee.com, type in the coupon code ShowTheArt for a nice little discount. Enjoy. Shaka, what's going on?
What's good? What's good?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Why are you honored to be here?
He's ecstatic.
Word.
Man, we go way back.
A long time.
Me and Shaka have been friends since the Stone Ages.
Seriously. I think literally since the Stone Ages.
Yeah, like
literally.
high school, we called high school the Stone Ages.
Oh, right.
Before that, right? Like
Didn't you guys have a dance crew called ASAP?
It's cool.
we started training jiu-jitsu. Remember? We were your pupils.
Yep.
Oh, right.
And then what happened? Shaka quit.
And then I fell off the face of the earth.
So me and Shaka met back in the day, and then like 10 years ago, maybe 11, maybe 12. And then you're the one, you didn't introduce me into martial arts. You introduced me to mixed martial arts where you were training, which is where I met Marcos. That's the story.
Yep.
And what do you do now?
I rap and other stuff and other things.
What does that mean? What are other things?
I do. I have an internship for urban gardening
Mm-hmm.
at Queens Botanical. So I'm studying how to grow food. I have a lot of projects that I want to do with that. So, mostly in urban neighborhoods, city neighborhoods,
So you want to grow shit.
basically.
Okay, nice. So
Everybody thinks weed.
I know,
As soon as I say growing anything, growing plants, most people are like, oh.
for the longest time I've known you, your parents were into organic and like grass-fed stuff before it was popular.
Yes, for a long time.
Like I remember going to your house and your parents only had like almond milk or no, soy milk.
So yeah,
Soy
that's
milk.
true.
And I remember like spending the night at your house as like high schoolers, and for breakfast it was like, oh, you want cereal? Sure. And then you pour like soy milk.
Soy milk.
That was the first time I ever had soy milk, and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever had. It was crazy. And I'm like, what is it? But like his parents were like really into health food before it was like popular, right?
Yeah, mostly my mother. I think my dad is he's very lax. He doesn't really care too much. So I mean, some of the times he'll try to eat decent, but mostly my mother.
So are you studying stuff like that, like how to grow organic and how to grow, or what does it mean to be organic? What is true organic
Yeah,
as opposed to local, all that stuff?
yeah. Well, I mean, local food can still be organic quality, but it's not necessarily labeled as that.
Yes.
Because the labeling costs a lot, and the label could be a lot of fluff too. There's a lot
Yes.
of companies that say they use organic methods or their soil.
But it just meets the requirements of being organic, which means there could still be crap in it, right?
Exactly.
See, a lot of people don't know that organic is now like a paid label. The word organic is a paid label. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing for you. It's probably better than like non-label organic stuff. But when it says local, usually that's like good, right?
Yeah, local is they take more care of it. It's it's probably the best soil they can get. They feed it with good nutrients. When they compost well, so you get better nutrients from it.
And do they use pesticides and all that stuff, or it just depends?
Usually not. If there's pests, I mean, you don't necessarily have to use pesticides. They usually use it in industrial farms because it's so large. The scale is, they really have to do something about these flies or these bugs that are biting away at the plant. But when it's on a smaller scale, you can kind of focus in and find different remedies to fix the same problems without having to resort to chemicals.
Gotcha. And then local farms are usually a little smaller so they could get away with, is what you're saying.
Exactly. And they might even let some pests run and then they'll be okay with the crops because they grow enough and they can kind of, they can leverage it. They don't have to worry about it too much.
Gotcha.
I heard some people use pests as a pesticide. Other pests to kill.
I hear
Other
ladybugs.
pests. Yeah.
Some people use I don't know if you heard about that. Ladybugs are they eat certain like insects that kill crops, right?
Yes, they do. Sometimes, like you were saying, some pests work they can kill other pests off that are worse, that do more damage to the crop. So they'll let them run and go, like ladybugs.
And what other things? What are you referring
I
to?
was talking about ladybug.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
No.
Sure. Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Vineyards.
I just heard that fact like a couple days ago. So,
I heard it 2 years ago. Too late.
so what should people avoid eating in general? Because you're into that kind of stuff, like growing.
Yeah.
Do you have a vast knowledge of meat sources and things like that? Grass-fed as opposed to non-grass-fed, as opposed to grass-finished beef, or antibiotic-free chicken as opposed to antibiotic chicken?
Yeah. Antibiotic. I mean, I'm somewhat knowledgeable, you know. Grass-fed is just basically letting the animal graze and being able to eat in their natural diet without having them feed or eat a lot of corn and wheat, which is they usually feed a lot of industrial animals corn and soy and wheat. The corn and the soy is genetically modified most of the time. You know, they eat this stuff, they fatten them up on it. They don't really take care of the animal. They slaughter the animal early. The life cycle is horrible for them. Yeah, and they just the industry farms are the worst. They
Do you eat
no
meat?
Consideration. Some of the time. I don't eat it a lot. I try to balance, you know.
No, what do you mean balance?
I'll eat meat probably maybe 3 times a week.
Interesting.
No, it's a lot for some.
Yeah.
Let's get into the nitty gritty. So you're into hip hop, right?
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
I'm an MC. You know, I do underground shows. I do competitions, battle competitions.
Do you want to sit here so that you can talk to Marcos without turning
kind
away
of
from the mic?
like
No, you can move by all means. This is where you come in, Marcos. This is your expertise.
Yes, well, he's the
I'm just observing.
the legend.
Nah, man, I don't have much to talk about. It's you guys.
I asked you this earlier, but you know, you're penning lyrics.
Yes, sir.
How often are you penning lyrics, and in what form are you penning your lyrics? Are you using pad? Are you using your phone?
Sometimes I do both. You know what I mean? I might actually start a song on paper and then finish it on my phone later. But I mean, I write. If I'm gonna do a project, I just drop my first project, Laughing Barrel EP. Anybody who listens to this, check me out on SoundCloud. But if I'm trying to finish a project, I write more. Other times I write sort of regularly, a couple times a week, maybe. You know, if it's a battle, then I have to write every day, or I have to make sure I'm editing something every day. So
you're creating songs. You're also battling.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get the most enjoyment? Is it in the battle? Is it in creating an album?
Different outlets bring out different emotions, you know. I've always wanted to battle. I've always wanted to get into that scene because it's a different type of creativity. It's not necessarily you expressing your emotions on a certain topic, but being able to take, if you're a lyricist, being able to take your lyricism and basically attack someone with it. You know what I mean? You're sharpening your sword. You're going to battle. You're duking it out.
And the common misconception about battle rapping is it's personal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not personal necessarily. Some people can take it personally, but it's not necessarily meant to be personal. It's just the art form, right?
Exactly. It's you're supposed to be going at this other person's neck. You know, you guys are supposed to be. Some people, it's good to throw jokes and personal references if you know something about the person that, you know, will probably be embarrassing. You can say that stuff, but even then, it's not necessarily you saying, "Oh, I hate this person. I'm not going to shake their hands after this is done."
Yeah,
you know,
that kind of relates to like stand-up comedy, right? Like if you're working on the crowd and you make fun of somebody in the crowd, I'm not trying to pick on you per se. I just found something in the crowd that I can use to keep the show going and be funny, but I'm not trying to hurt your feelings necessarily. But some people do get their feelings hurt.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily, it's just within the art form. So if you're in a battle rap, you should automatically not really take it personally, right?
Yeah, it's not necessarily, it's not really about you. It's about the crowd. It's in putting on a good show. You know what I mean? Battling is as much performance and show as performing on a stage doing a song is. Do you know what I mean? People really don't understand that. It's a show. You're supposed to go and exaggerate and make fun and entertain the crowd.
And what are the origins of rap battling? of battling, right?
Yeah.
Did it start by just people in a certain area, like as a personal thing?
Marcus.
Did it start like that's a good question. Did it start as a personal thing? Like we don't like each other, so we're gonna rap about each other.
I think it was crews coming at each other, right? And then
pretty much. It's always been a crew versus crew dynamic.
So it used to be personal, right? Or not necessarily.
I think it's more so to claim who's better at the end of the day. You rap, I rap. Let's see who's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like in jiu-jitsu, we go to a competition, I win more team points, and it just shows that we have a better school, but we're not like trying to clown you guys.
Right. At the end of the day, it's a contest to see who's better. Whose jiu-jitsu is better.
Yeah.
Whose rhyming is better. Whose dance moves are better.
So obviously, battling came after hip-hop, right? Because that's the same culture. There was no battling in other types of music.
Interesting.
There is. I mean, if you think about,
like, there was no French music or opera battles.
I can't
not
say.
necessarily, but there was always music. To a degree, has always been. There's been rivalry. You know what I mean? Maybe a composer will hear another composer that he doesn't like. He might have a personal beef with him. They might take it out through records. I mean, they do Battle of the Bands. Battle of the Bands is not really. I don't think there's words exchanged in it, but it's one band trying to outplay this one.
Yeah, it's my song versus your song.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then my performance versus your performance.
And some battles are indirect. It's just more so used as a measure of one's skill level and something to compare.
That's true.
So it doesn't always have to be personal.
So battling came from hip hop. How did the hip hop culture start? And what was that type of culture? Where did it start?
It started in the hood.
In the hood.
Yeah.
So did it start as an aggressive thing, or did it just start like any music, like a lot of the jazz?
I think it's just the expression of the people, you know. People finding a medium of expression, and they did it through poetry, they did it through dance, they did it through vibes, music, beats, instrumental.
I only say this because a lot of rap is the lyrics in it are aggressive. They're talking about guns, they're talking about killing and shooting, not all the time, but sometimes. Whereas we don't hear that as much in other types of music, right?
Yeah.
I guess sometimes rock, like heavy metal, they talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, heavy metal, they talk about a whole lot of
like
doing drugs,
crazier stuff,
yes.
Right? But my point is, did hip hop start as a aggressive thing, or did it just start as like an artistic thing?
No, it was fun, block party, having fun, just having a good damn time, to be honest, in the beginning.
That's true. So. They the industry kind of co-opted the whole aggressive, violent gangster theme and pushed that out there to make money off of. They knew it would fit. It works with the whole stereotype of, you know what I mean, Black and Latino kids coming from the hood. You're supposed to look a certain way, or you're supposed to act a certain way. We expect them to act this way, so they push that image and it's stuck. And
they capitalized, they leveraged off of it.
But now the music is kind of different. Now, like, rap music is more about how big your bank account is and how much jewelry you have, right? Like, it's kind of changed.
They add that
the
in.
mainstream has changed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's not necessarily how many people I shot. Is, you know what I mean?
How many times I went to the jewelry store?
Look at my hoes, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. You know?
Now it's very materialistic. Before it was about our actions. Now it's about materialistic things. That's interesting.
Because people like to hear about success. Let's say I don't know if we should necessarily call that true success.
No,
but we'll just say it. You know,
financial success.
Yeah, people like to hear about people who have money, who are living that lifestyle where they don't have to worry about money, they don't have to worry about anything. Yeah. So I think they feed off of people's desire to be one of those, and they keep pushing that music out there to stimulate.
So why didn't gun rap last then?
But it did.
It's still live, heavy.
Gun rap is.
I feel like I don't hear as much gun rap in like Hot 97 type music, like mainstream hip hop, if you want to call it.
I personally like gun rap if it's delivered artistically, if it's delivered from an honest place. If you're that dude, you know, capping cats in the alley, then I ride with you.
So that's another question. is it frowned upon to rap about something you don't do?
Yeah.
It is frowned upon.
If it's supposed to be true. Right. You know what I mean? Because you can invent a story that has no basis in reality. It just be a story. It's you telling a good story. Yeah. However, if it's supposed to be, you know, if it's something like
part of your image,
like you sold drugs on the block, but you really never sold drugs, like the Rick Ross thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Correction officer.
That's what I was thinking of. Actually,
sold drugs.
Yeah, but then like sources came out saying that he was like a corrections officer, which is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So if it's part of your image, it better be true. But if you're just kind of telling about it in the stories or in your songs, so your songs are your stories essentially. And do you guys like to call rap songs?
Well, they are though. They are.
They are, right?
In essence, they're songs, their stories. They have a point to them.
Yeah. Interesting.
Boom.
So getting back to the battling scene, how is the battling scene different? This is the common misconception that I hear about a lot. And this is what I used to feel, but obviously I know the difference now. I feel like people commonly misconstrued the battling scene. People that want to rap battle and pursue that career as the underground are just people that don't have real music talent to write and make records, or they're the people that didn't make it in the mainstream music scene, so they went that route. What is the difference? That's obviously not true. So why do some people pursue a career, I guess, in battling? Why do some people pursue a career in making songs?
Well, some of it is skill. I mean, we touched on it before in terms of freestyle versus written rhymes, and how it's like being ambidextrous, being able to write with both hands. To some people, battling comes easier. To some people, music comes easier. You know, some people want to do all of the above, and some people just have a desire to go ahead and chop people's heads off in the ring with their words, and they don't really care about music too much. But a lot of artists do want to do both, or maybe touch on both. But it's, I don't know, they're different skills to develop. Honestly, they're not. Writing a song is not battling, and battling is not writing. They both have to do with rapping. But
and rhyming.
Yes, but that's the essence. But essentially, they're different things, and it's tough to grasp. I'm not, to be honest.
And getting back to what you had touched on that we talked about earlier, battling. There's a difference between, or just freestyling in general. A lot of people think that freestyling is just off the top of the head, but it's not.
No.
So a lot of these people are writing. So what's the difference between somebody who freestyles and does it off the top of their head and the writtens?
Well,
why would they do one or the other?
They could do a free verse, which is a written, like a written rhyme with no specific topic, because it's a dope rhyme, it's a good verse, and they could use it. You know what I mean? But freestyling takes a lot of practice to nail down. It's a really hard skill to pick up. So some people don't want to put their time in.
So why are they labeled the same? That's where the confusion comes in, because they're labeled the same. Yeah. You see, this guy just was freestyling on this this Hot 97 show or whatever. But like you listen to it and you're like, he didn't say that off the top of his head. Like that was obviously something he wrote down. Yeah. So why are they labeling it that way?
It might be more appropriate to label it, hey, kick a free verse instead of a freestyle. They just messed it all up.
Yeah.
So somebody along the lines messed it up.
And no one checked it.
Interesting. They got to label it differently so that people understand, because I always describe things like that to what like Sarah goes through. Sarah's a professional photographer. She went to school for it. She does it for a living. But anybody can go and buy the same camera that she has, take a couple of online classes, and label themselves a professional. Do 1 or 2 weddings and try to take the same clientele that she gets, right? But that's not the same thing. It's like they're kind of ruining for everybody else. Yeah. So I feel like the freestylers that are writing stuff and being labeled as freestylers are ruining it for the guys who are actually developing the real freestyle muscles. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like they're ruining it for those type of guys? It's almost like they have the same skill as you. It's like, no, they don't have the same skill as you. It's a different skill.
Yeah. To the people who don't know, to the regular crowd who have no idea, that could pose a problem. But to the people who do know, who can tell the difference, they'll always know. They'll be like, oh, well, this guy's just kicking a free verse.
Sure. No, and I get that, but most of the people are people that don't know.
That's true.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Most people don't know the difference, so they hear it and it's like, oh, cool, whatever. But it's not really off the top of his head. Whoever is listening, later on when you're done and you're driving in your car, just try to rhyme 5 words in a row and see how long it takes you. It's hard.
It's tough.
And that's just rhyming 5 words in a row. Now imagine rhyming 5 lines with different words in there interspersed that rhyme together. That's what you do.
Yes.
And then try to rhyme those 5 words to somebody that's standing in front of you and you're trying to attack them.
It's tough.
It's even harder.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
I remember one time I went to a show that you performed at. It was like in Buffalo Wild Wings or something. Remember? It was
cheeseburger paradise.
Cheeseburger paradise. It was like a open mic night, right?
Yeah.
But what you did, which was the best performance that day, because everybody else was just playing songs and music and kind of like, just playing other people's songs. What you did is you walked around the restaurant, or before you told everybody, hey guys, I want you guys to hold up one thing. Yeah. And I'm going to walk around the room and I'm going to freestyle off the top of my head and make things rhyme with what you're holding. Mm-hmm. And you went around the friggin' restaurant and you did it. Like people were holding straws, people were holding forks, people were holding their cheeseburger, people were holding other people up, but you were going around and you were rhyming everything live, and it all worked. If you took that and put it somewhere else and put it on paper, people would have thought you wrote it. Yeah. But that's how smooth it came out. Yeah, and that was very impressive. And I think everybody caught wind of that. I remember when you were done, a lot of people were clapping because it was like we saw how impressive it was. It was completely obvious that it wasn't written. Yeah, well, which is very impressive. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That I felt like that might have hit a nerve to a lot of people because it was like direct experience of it.
Yeah.
And he was connecting with the crowd. He engaged the crowd. They were a part of the performance. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes for the live experience for the show. A lot of I feel a lot of hip hop is performance. A lot of hip hop is presenting to the crowd the right way. So that's one of the things. People might not want to listen to a freestyle off the head, just you kicking a rhyme. Yeah. But when you do it with that, you'd be like, oh, okay,
it hits you harder because you're there, you see it, it's going live. There's no way of cheating. Yeah. You can't cheat. It's happening right now. Basically. I don't see a notebook in your hand. I don't see words running down your sleeve.
That would be funny.
You're gonna perform in Cheeseburger in Paradise, so people are gonna be lifting up forks. You can kind of prepare. Somewhat, but it didn't seem like it was.
Maybe he did prepare. He knows. He knows everyone's gonna hold a cell phone up. Snap. He knows there's 3 or 4 different dominating cell phone companies out there.
That's a lot of work, though.
He knows there's a fork and a plate on the table.
That's a lot of work, though.
I hope these guys don't lift up tomatoes. I cannot rhyme with tomatoes. So tell me, give us some insight on how you would prepare, how you would strengthen those freestyle muscles.
What I like to do, and this was kind of inspired by a game show I've been taking part in called Freestyle Mondays. We're looking for another venue. We're out in New York City, and it's run by a guy, Ill Spoken, great MC. He's been doing it for a long time. I saw him he did World Rap Championships back in the day.
Ill Spoken?
Ill Spoken.
Because he's sick.
He's nice. He's nice. This guy's...
And that's another thing about hip hop culture. I love the words we can say to describe people, and it could be any word, but the intent. Like I said, it was sick, which means it's good. Yeah. You said it was nice, which means it's good. 2 opposite words, but it meant the same exact thing, and we knew exactly what we were talking about. Like that's so fun. Like no other culture does that.
Relating words.
We're hip.
Cool, man. But yeah, sorry, keep going.
But yeah,
you were talking about strengthening those muscles, exercises.
Yeah, Freestyle Mondays. So the competition is battle, 1-on-1, off the head, going at each other's neck. But there's stipulations until the 3 rounds, usually 3 or 4 rounds. Until the last round, there's always a topic that they throw into the mix that you have to rhyme about. So it could be the most random, ridiculous.
Could be fried chicken. It could be
literally fried chicken versus salmon. And now you're salmon. You have to battle this other guy. literally, and it's crazy because it forces you. You definitely have to think outside the box. You definitely have to be solid at freestyle to be able to. So how are you gonna diss somebody like that?
You're a salmon, or you have to diss them about a salmon?
I mean, it depends on the topic you get. Because if let's say I'm fried chicken and you're salmon.
Yeah.
So when you diss me, you have to
hold up. Why you gotta be fried chicken? And why I gotta be salmon? My skin don't look pink. No. I'm fried chicken. You're salmon.
All right. So I'm salmon. You're fried chicken. So when I'm coming at you, when I'm dissing you, now I have to think of chicken references. I have to think of you know what I mean. Things like It's tough to do that off the top of the head.
I say that because like Nas did that song about fried chicken.
Yeah.
He did that song about roaches, but he was talking from the perspective of a roach.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's what you meant. Like you had to be in the perspective of like chicken getting fried, essentially.
Not necessarily. Or you could say something about if you're fried chicken, you say something about you being a chicken that got fried. Something like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
in that vein. But
it just has to be related to that thing, which makes it very hard.
Exactly. And I try to do that when I practice freestyle. Like keep to a topic or keep to a certain, maybe pretend that I'm battling somebody so I get that, I can strengthen that muscle, you know what I mean? Because freestyle, also the next distinction, freestyling and freestyle battling are not the same thing. They take two different, I mean, they both have to do freestyle again.
Yes.
But to battle somebody.
Yes.
Versus kicking a random rhyme.
When I'm battling somebody, I have to focus on them and pick things out from them. Mm-hmm. If I'm freestyling just on my own, it could just be whatever pops into my head, right?
Exactly. So that's a big distinction.
What were the beginning stages? Because I'm sure, like, I can't just start practicing like that. Someone who doesn't know anything about that, someone who doesn't know structures and stuff like that. So how would a beginner start to practice? Is what I'm saying. Would you just read a dictionary or read a thesaurus or?
That's a good question. I never thought about that. Beginners who want to get into freestyle.
Like, how did you?
I just started doing that. I threw on beats and I just tried to rap. And I just, just
and then eventually
trying.
Eventually you figured out structures to
Yeah, you figure out the bar structure, how many words you could fit, what words rhyme, and putting together a good verse. You eventually pick up the nuances along the way. Mm-hmm. But that's the first thing I would tell somebody. Just sit there and freestyle. Throw on a beat and just go,
Marcos likes freestyle.
I don't do it anymore.
Come on.
It's a pastime.
Come on.
We got to get a song out of him or something.
2019. 3-song EP.
All right.
What's the hardest thing about what you do?
I don't know. There's a lot of tough things. Sometimes it could be tough to get. Not for me, inspiration, but because I like to write, I like to create. Maybe sometimes the grind. If you do want to make money off of it, if you do want to find a way to monetize and go on to shows and figuring out if I'm gonna sell this amount of songs or records online, what is it gonna be? You're setting up your websites, getting traffic, going out to this event, that event,
trying to get these shows.
Yeah.
It relates to anything, and particularly we could talk about martial arts because that's what we do. That's what a lot of the listeners will be coming from. It's the same thing. Like, you come up in martial arts, you start jiu-jitsu, you fall in love with it, or Muay Thai, and you're like, one day I want to be a teacher. This is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But you have to go through the grind every day and train and wait until you get promoted, and eventually you our opportunities, or in your case, show opportunities, performance opportunities. Mm-hmm. So eventually you gain the experience and you have the resume.
Building their skills, I think those are the two biggest things: skills and network. If you can work on that, then you'll probably be good. That's the base.
Yeah. Are there many battle rappers out there that they're obviously battle rappers? They're not mainstream music makers, right? They don't have a record deal or anything.
Yeah.
Are there many of them that make good enough money to survive?
Yeah, tons of them. I mean, they're
not millionaires.
They're not millionaires, but a lot of the top tier guys, if you say a person like Disaster, who's been on top in battle rap for a long time, he makes pretty good money. They're gonna give him good money to take a battle in Canada or across seas somewhere, or someone like Arsenal who's been battling for a very long time. He's from Jersey. Shout out Jersey. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right.
Jersey.
Newark.
What does good money look like?
For a battle, good money could be 10,000, 20,000 for a battle.
3 of those, you're good.
Yeah.
From where we come from.
Yes. Imagine. Okay, you're writing for a battle that lasts 40 minutes. Okay, so each of you have rounds. Let's say you need 20 minutes of material. 20,000 for that.
That's good money for anybody.
Yes.
But again, and there's another point I wanted to make. From where most of these people come from, the people that get into this type of thing, they don't come from like Wayne. They don't come from Montclair. They don't come from like Beverly Hills, where they come from money. We come from like poorer areas, below middle class, where your parents were making $40,000 a year, 50 combined. So like if you make something like that just from doing anything, you've made it. You're good.
Yeah.
So if you can make $80,000 a year, like you're ecstatic, you can live like that for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
You're not looking for the millions.
Yeah, because that's a pretty comfortable living. You do a couple of battles a year. They've got guys like Marcos mentioned before, a guy like DNA. Like DNA, if they give him, he battles. I mean, at some points, this guy's taking 3 battles a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
You have like a week to prepare in between.
That's a lot.
But if they give him $5,000 every battle for a whole year,
that adds up.
Yes.
I mean, Jay-Z trips over that money in his bathroom by accident.
Yeah.
But like you're not in the same industry.
Yeah.
And again, it comes from what makes you happy. Right? Like if you're not trying to be a millionaire and you can make a comfortable living doing something you love, who cares how much you make at the end of the day? Who cares if you're not rich and famous, right?
Exactly. But and you also have ways to, you know what I mean? These guys are not spending everything they make, maybe, hopefully not. Stash some and they do other things with it.
Get like 1 gold tooth. You know you made it if you got 1 gold tooth.
Well, at least one.
1 gold, 24 carats.
They used to get the whole grill, you know what I mean? But I don't think people.
Yeah, that's over. That's deaded, as they would say.
Deaded that, son.
We're running out of time, right, Marcos?
Yep.
So, oh snap!
How would you like this? Would you like us to toss words at you? You want to just?
What you want?
You gotta.
You want me to
something.
free, or you want me to?
You want to do a free verse, or do you want to do a freestyle?
How about do this? Yeah. Do a written verse first.
Yeah.
So people could see the difference.
All right.
Right? Something. It doesn't have to be 16 bars.
Yeah.
It could be 8 bars. I got bars, son. Right? and then we can do freestyle.
Sure.
Cool?
Yeah.
Are you, Marcos, are you jumping in
he
on the freestyle?
No, I'm just.
No, he's
Are you
definitely
jumping in on the freestyle?
No, I got a class to teach.
Dude, if you inspire him, he will.
He'll inspire me, but I won't.
So, yeah, do like a short written.
This is all about you.
See what I got. See what I got.
Do you need a beat?
Nah. I should be good. All right, cool. Check this out.
You want me to turn you up?
Turn me up in the headphones. Turn me up in the headphones. Word is born in the financial sense. The average man has a limited chance to win, which is half by the minute they implement stipulations they pondered in consideration. Mama didn't get acquainted with saunas and spas, only armies of little kids in large tees and Timberlands. Miles of blocks where the price of housing drop. I'm who they slot hopeless by environmental osmosis. There's more Skrilla waiting for faces and entertainment. The great men contributing to in the game renovation. Media wants media influence. Epidemic level of panic over the simple. They force feed your RSS with port cheap intake. Take a heart stress test. Short, sweet, 4 weeks, die a heartless death. Then buzzards and brothers eat your carcass flesh. What's our next step? Our direction of progression is skewed. Faulty judgment is a testament to. All this bluffing being mistaken for substance has a stumbling. Hesitant instead of making definite moves. We're not stuck in conditions that can never improve. With different belief systems, same resonant truths. Giving the reap wisdom is the best thing to do. Segregating ourselves into separatist rule.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, see, that sounds like poetry to me. Like that doesn't sound like the average like don't rap.
I should have kicked.
That was pretty good.
You should have kicked. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like when people hear that, I guarantee you they're gonna think more of like it sounds like poetry. It sounds like a song. It doesn't sound like some dirty music on the radio.
And there's rich
Turn
content
that dirty music
and
off.
substance in it.
Yeah. You use words like osmosis,
Damn, brain food. Okay.
Just that brain food.
Brain food.
All right. Would you like to go off the top of the dome piece?
If you guys, throwing a beat or something like that, you know what I mean?
Come on, Marcos.
You can jump into. You can kick a couple bars.
All right.
Let them know. Let them know. Did they heard his rap name before?
No, what's his rap name?
Aquest, his old joint. Yeah, I remember you told me that.
My dog.
And what does that mean?
I don't know. You have to ask him.
You'll hear it. 2019.
This guy, he's been adding 5 years every time he asks a question.
Oh, man.
It's all good, though.
We'll add it later.
It's for him.
So there's a beat playing in the background. You probably won't hear it. Can hear it a little too much.
All right. Yeah. Sounds good.
Turn you up or turn the beat down?
Turn me up, son. Hey, yo.
Yeah. All right. Look. This is how I do when I'm jumping on the mic, like it's double dutch. I punch rappers in the face and give them trouble much. Leave them laid out. It's like an etch-a-sketch. Every time I shake them up, I'm next to best. When I'm rocking the mic, it's like a rocket taking off to space. No, I got the hotness. When I flip it in the pan, cook it like it's dope in the kitchen. No, I go with the writtens, and I go for your chicken or vixen, whatever you would like to call her. Every time I'm coming through, I am not a baller. No, I'm not really scoring. Talking to Lauren, Hill in the back of a DeLorean. All this is what I do on the mic. I gotta flip it like it's acrobatics. Everything that I spat is magic. No, I gotta hold it in the plan. Hold it in the palm of my hand, I golden man. No, I gotta shine like a gold ray. Shine like the sun over there. Kill you like I'm OJ. With Nicole Simpson. I'm so pimpin'. I'm coming through, tie your laces, now you're fold tripping. You're falling, and your soul is down. You really can't see me, my flow is so profound. When I'm stepping up to mic, like I'm next to bat, I might wreck a cat with an excellent rap. I still put it down and I sever your neck, leave it at that. Know that I'm bringing the track, swinging the bat, straight at your cranium. Don't play me, son, I'm really not for that. When I drop the track, about to pass it to Aquest to rock next. He can do it.
Nice, man. Good stuff, man. That was pretty awesome.
Word.
And that was all off the top of your head.
Yeah, that was off the top of the head.
Damn. Muscles. Brain muscles. Brain muscle. How much is it? If you could put a percentage on it, how much is memory a part of it? Because I'm sure you have little schemes that you like to say, right?
Yeah,
little moves, right? That you
Yeah.
could pull out. Like I know that Mexico rhymes with this, or
Yeah, there's some stored rhyme banks.
Yeah.
and that's
you
normal.
You also get used to patterns, like rhyme patterns. So if you flip a rhyme a certain way, it's like on these cup says become a legend. Or you say something like number 7, run. You know what I mean? Like you get used to bringing out patterns as well, so you can make them fit.
And then you rearrange them too.
Exactly.
So you're saying like changing the way a word sounds too, like become could be 2 long syllables instead of like one big word.
Exactly.
Become instead of become.
Exactly.
So now I got it. So you stretch it.
Wordplay.
That's what they mean, wordplay. Dang.
Play on words.
Playing words.
Cool, man. I guess that's it. We got to go, right, Marcos?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah.
Yo, Shaka, thank you, man. This was awesome. I hope this inspires people. Go out there and do it.
Yeah, spit a verse.
Yes, sir.
Like you can't rhyme crime with dime all the time. You got to think of more intricate wordplay, right?
Yes.
One last question.
Go ahead.
Who in the world was the very best at wordplay, period? One person.
That's a tough.
No.
That's a hard one.
Well, make up your mind. 5, 4.
I don't know. Is that a trick question? Do you have an answer for that?
I have no answers. I know
That's
nothing.
a harsh one.
Okay, 2.
2 people?
2 people. I'll give you 2. That's easier.
That's still tough.
Then who are your personal top 2 favorites in wordplay?
That's probably a better
That's easier.
question.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's subjective to
Yeah,
everyone.
because you're not like a professional analyst of music to be making these judgments.
I mean, even in terms of that, that's a very
So you don't like anybody, basically.
I have a lot of favorites, and I have my top 3 favorite rappers who I think.
Okay, say them.
You know what I mean? My first favorite rapper is a dude from South Central LA, No Can Do. Been a fan of his for a long time.
Okay.
Next is Nas.
Okay. Who's that?
And who is Nas? Who is this guy? And the last one, it's not last, but you know what I mean? It's like
it's
No Can Do at the top,
the
but
next one.
the other 2 are interchangeable. Then Elza is my third favorite. So I think those are
Anyway, dude, thanks a lot, man. This was awesome.
Yeah.
Laughing Barrels.
Laughing
SoundCloud.
Barrel. Yeah, SoundCloud. Check
Look
me
it
out.
up.
I have my full name under there, so Abe will probably post. I don't know if you post a link or whatever.
I'll post
like
it.
that. All right,
But perfect, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like, comment on our iTunes or Stitcher or any platform that you are on. It goes a really long way, guys. When you subscribe, it pushes us further along and it allows us to continue to bring you these podcast episodes with our guests. And it really helps out a lot to subscribe. It makes it a lot easier. It automatically downloads the episodes on iTunes. It's just easier to get us on your phone or your computer. So please subscribe. That's one of the biggest things you can help us out with.